We now welcome in Kaitlan Collins, anchor of The Source on CNN. Caitlin, thank you so much for coming on. We're excited to have you.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here. And I always get stressed making my bracket because I'm like, what, like, at my peril am I doing? But then I'm like, in between, like, some morning meetings today, like, while I'm making it, and I'm like, okay, I'm putting too much time in this. It doesn't, like, just pick. Because whoever, even if I put a lot of thought into it, they're going to, like, be the bracket buster or something like
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I just was like, just go with your gut, you know?
I know. That's always what ends up happening. We all spend hours on our brackets and then it doesn't matter anyways because we can't be perfect. That's actually the whole point of the show. But for those who maybe don't know, you went to Alabama, big Alabama football fan. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your sports fandom in general?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a sports fan. I didn't really think it was like that big of a deal because in the South, like basically everyone is. And so it wasn't until like I moved to Washington and which I did like a month after I graduated from Alabama that I realized that people were making other plans on like Saturdays in the fall, which I thought was I really couldn't fathom. Like I was
Yeah.
like, you want to go to brunch? Like we have an 11 a.m. kickoff. And so it took me a minute to like kind of understand that that was like not what everyone did on Saturdays. But yeah, I loved going to Alabama and I love going back. I go back for several games a year, and my little brother is actually there right now. And yeah, it's just always been so much fun. And basketball's been fun because obviously Alabama is known for being a football school, but their other athletics are amazing. And I can remember my freshman year. It was January 2011 when Alabama upset Kentucky at home. And it was this insane game that we were like, oh, like we'll go to the game for a little bit and then maybe leave and head out. And it was such an incredible game. I was just revisiting it a few moments ago because I was like thinking about what an awesome game that was. So Alabama obviously is not known for being a basketball school, but I love their program. I love Nate Oates, and they've been really fun to watch. So we'll see how they fare this March Madness.
Well, Caitlin, luckily we're talking about basketball because I went to Georgia, big Georgia football fan over here.
Oh
So
boy.
I'm glad, I'm glad we don't have to talk about that. But yeah, Alabama a 4 seed this year, a 1 seed last year. So are you excited to watch them in March Madness?
I'm excited, but I feel like we got a brutal pick here. I mean, going up against North Carolina is like I don't want to complain because everyone's complaining. Auburn's complaining, UAB is complaining, everyone in all the Alabama schools are complaining. Um, but I feel like we have a pretty brutal option. But I really think obviously last Friday did not go well for us when we were playing Florida, and we have not played our best basketball as of lately. I say we like I'm on the team, like working out and
You
like
It's
are.
a fan. Yeah, it's a
working on
fan.
my
Yeah,
jump
yeah.
shot. I'm definitely not, and I appreciate that they put much more work in it than I do. But I don't know. I still think there's a chance. I think people who are counting Alabama out, and I was thinking about this while I was making my bracket today. I don't think you should sleep on Alabama because I do think that there's an option that they could show up and they could play at their best and maybe be in for some kind of Sweet 16 shocker. Obviously, I'm always an optimist when it comes to sports, and so I'm excited to watch them play and just see how they do. And I think that they've got a lot of great players on the team. Our defense is not the best, but I'm rooting for us. I think it could be a good tournament for us.
All right. Well, let's take a look at your bracket. We'll put it to the test here in March Madness. Let's take a look at some of your upset picks, who you have in the Final Four, and your championship pick.
Well, I do not have Alabama going to the Final Four, which will tell you that I'm actually not an optimist. I'm a realist. I think that I couldn't do it. My little brother was looking at my bracket this morning, and he was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Okay, Brayden, sorry." So for my Final Four, I've got UConn, Arizona, Houston, and Creighton, and I think it's gonna be UConn and Houston in the championship game. I don't know who's going to pull it off out of there. I mean, this was kind of a tough pick for me because obviously UConn is coming into this with such momentum. But I think that there could be a lot of upsets and unknowns here, which is what you're always watching for before you actually get to this. And so I'm hopeful, but I don't know. I was looking at a lot of the other games and just looking at where Auburn is and seeing how they're going to do. I think that'll be really fun. I was looking at the Tennessee game as well. I mean, there are a lot of games in here that I think I'll be keeping my eye on. And with Arizona, what I was thinking about is just I love a good narrative and seeing,
Mhm.
as someone who just appreciates sports and appreciates
Yeah.
the athletes and their stories that they go through. I was thinking of just how fun it would be to watch Caleb Love, play North Carolina, what that could look like. And so I always love a moment like that. That's what I'm
Oh
always
yeah.
looking for on Saturdays in the fall. But that's also what I'll be looking for in this tournament as well.
Such good
Yes.
storyline. Stats, I know you had a question about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, so I love how your brothers come after you for not picking Alabama to win it all, but yet Elite Eight's pretty far. I mean, it's not like you have
Right.
them losing the first round here, so I got to defend you a little bit here.
Exactly. That's what. Okay. I mean, Braden he's a sophomore. He's so hopeful. He's so young and so
Yeah.
optimistic, as most 20-year-olds are. And he also thinks that I didn't put Purdue going far enough in this. I actually don't have a lot of confidence in Purdue to make it too much further. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I think, as a delusional fan, sometimes you always put your team maybe one step
Yeah.
Yep.
further than someone who has like no skin in the game would.
Oh yeah.
But I think I have reasoning for this because if you look what happened to Alabama football, in the fall, no one thought that they were going to make it to the playoffs, much less,
Ugh.
as far as they did. And, there we were sitting in California playing Michigan. So I'm hopeful and not counting us out. And, I'd rather have Alabama going further than if they go further than if I had them, and then I'd feel like a bad fan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you can make two brackets, one with your favorite team winning and then one
Yeah.
for the realist side of you.
Exactly. One who's like actually, I'm so competitive. So when I'm in groups with my friends, or we always have, loser has to make a lemonade stand or something like that. I'm so competitive about it, even though I'm not, the number one basketball, aficionado or knowledge wise. I still am competitive, crazy about it. So it's really fun to watch.
Any other quick upset picks you have, maybe early in the first rounds that you want to point out?
There's just a few that I'm watching. Nebraska, I think, will be really fun. One of my favorite colleagues, Jeff Zeleny, is a
Mm.
Nebraska guy, and we were just talking about their team and what it looks like. I really care about the players and the individuals. I also think DJ Burns Jr. will be so fun to
Oh yeah.
watch. I love like a big guy on the court, and he's always cracking me up at his post game press conferences. So I'll be watching all of them. I'm also keeping a close eye, on the women as well. Caitlin Clark has been someone who I have just admired so much and think is amazing, and I know everyone shares that. But there was a moment in the Republican primary where Nikki Haley was in Iowa and she meant to say Caitlin Clark and she said Caitlin Collins, and it was just this comical moment. And so Ron DeSantis actually got me this Caitlin Clark t-shirt jersey that I
Oh
have,
my
which I'm going to wear
gosh.
this weekend because it was just so funny. Like it was just obviously a slip of the tongue. But yeah, I love the women's teams, and so I'll be watching them as well to see
Yeah,
because they've
we'll be rooting for Caitlin Collins and the
yes,
Iowa
Yeah.
Hawkeyes.
yeah.
But what a storyline there, if you like one, with her trying to win the national championship as her last accolade. She's got the rest of them.
Oh
I
yeah.
know she's amazing. The other one that I love is too, and this is so random, but Long Beach State and what's happening with their coach
Mm.
since he, obviously they're saying he won't stay with the team much longer after the postseason. But I still think it's like, okay, well, you never know. You're saying there's a chance. Let's see how he does. I just think there's a lot of fun storylines to watch. You guys have a really exciting few weeks ahead of you.
Oh, we do. It's really
Oh yeah.
exciting. Caitlin, thank you so much for joining us, breaking down your bracket. You can find Caitlin on The Source with Caitlin Collins that airs weeknights at 9 p.m. Eastern on CNN. Caitlin, good luck with that bracket and good luck
Yes,
to
and
the
we are trying to
Crimson
get
Tide.
Caitlin Clark on, so hopefully she'll come on if they do really well
That'd be
because we
great.
love her. So I'll make my pitch
Absolutely.
here.
Thanks so much, Caitlin.
Thanks, guys. Roll
Thank
Tide.
you.